Hey, this is Zara at ReviewZoneHD, and I'm bringing you guys a review for Tiger Woods PGA Tour 14 for the PlayStation 3. And my first impressions of this game were not good at all. My first couple days I played offline, there was a lot of issues with the sound, some choppy loading. There was a lot of little things that sort of irritated me about this new title. Now, I spent a crazy amount of time playing Tiger 10 for almost a full year after it had released, but I haven't touched any of the more recent titles, and I will say a lot has changed about this series. All the goofy animations and funny commentary that made Tiger 10 fun to play has been gutted out for good or worse to create a more authentic, true-to-life version. New features this year include an expanded online experience, a Legends of the Majors mode that's pretty lengthy, and the coins this year can be used to level up your golfer or buy boost pins that can give you an advantage out on the field. Now, I wasn't exactly thrilled about any of the new single-player features, but on day 3, I decided to start testing out the online part of this game, and that's when the clouds opened up, the sun came shining through, and the grass just got a whole lot greener. I still had several massive issues with this game and a few smaller nitpicks. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the review. I did notice the frame rate drop on some of the tee shots as the ball was sailing through the air. It would hitch or sometimes pause for a split second or oddly change the camera angle slightly, which resulted in the screen wiggling a little bit. It didn't happen often, but even once a day was noticeable. But the one thing that worried me was the way the game loads in between holes. When the screen itself pops up, it's very choppy, and yesterday night for the first time, it caused the game to lock up completely on me. The bad part is I was at the very end of an online one-try tournament that I was doing decent in. I've spent a lot of time with this game this week, and that's the only freeze that I've seen, but it sure is aggravating when it happens. Anytime you spend 30 or 45 minutes playing and lose it all on a game freeze, it's very frustrating. Graphically, the game looks pretty good. The white sand traps, the blues in the skies, the water, and the greens all look spot on fantastic. The fairway grass is hit or miss based on which course you're playing. Some of the grass looks a bit too shiny, some looks a bit too dull. The trees still don't look all that great when you stop and take a good look at them. The leaves just look like a hot mess, but the multicoloring and lighting give them a decent looking effect when they're far out in the distance. And speaking of multicoloring, one thing I will say this title does exceptionally well is creating very different looking courses to play on. Each one has a very distinct look when it comes to the coloring of the environment. Nothing looks cookie cutter. And here is where the big hairy gorilla that's been sitting patiently in the corner comes tearing through your living room. This very well could be the most I've ever ripped into a game for its sound in my history of doing reviews, but the sound on here is nothing short of a train wreck. First off, there's no option in the game to change the soundtrack to your hard drive music while you're playing, and it also will not allow you to play music from your dashboard, so you're stuck with what's in the game, and that ain't much. Most of the music is so mellowed down that it's almost depressing. They should include a pack of Ambient to purchase in the Pro Shop and just retitle this game Tiger Woods 2014 Bedtime Edition, taking the night golfing to the next level. You just sleep on the course instead of playing. Then comes the commentary. It's about as useful as rubber lips on a woodpecker. The commentary in between rounds is okay, but the play-by-play caller just has no enthusiasm whatsoever and gives absolutely no insight to what's actually taking place on the course. Rewind back to Tiger 10 and you would get constant feedback and tips on where and how to hit the ball. And they would even throw in some lively wisecracks if you did poorly or joyful remarks if you were doing well. Now, I've played a lot of sports games over the years and never came across commentary this bad on a sports game. Then comes the practice round golfing. It's so quiet you could hear a cricket fart, and that's no exaggeration. In all seriousness, I really did not like the audio in this game at all at any point in any shape or fashion. It really dragged the whole experience down several notches, and it misses the mark on just about everything that's important. Some of the voiceovers had scratches and pops during the speech, especially in the opening tutorial section. What little sound effects are in this game are so tuned down on some courses that I had to check and double check to make sure that I didn't have anything turned off or turned down. They probably couldn't have done a worse job on the audio if they had tried, and it's absolutely just mind-blowingly shocking that a title this big has such poor audio all around. The The focus has shifted over the years from arcade-style golf to a more realistic approach, which the putting showcases this the most. I had a difficult time adjusting to the new putting mechanic at first, but by the third day of playing, for the most part, I had it down. But even once you learn exactly where and when to pull back and let go on the meter, it can still be a bit tricky timing it perfectly. I guess this does add a sense of realism to playing, and it cuts down on the crazy long putts that were so easy in some of the older titles, but I had a really tough time making anything outside of 15 feet. Now, as I mentioned in the opening of this video, once I decided to connect to the EA servers and test out the online portion of this game, everything got a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. The online branches itself into pretty much every aspect of this game, and it all revolves around the country clubs, which is pretty much your clan that you represent. All of your stats get plastered across several leaderboards, which it pulls from your single player career events and anything you do online. Your stats are constantly matched up against everyone else in your club, and the game wisely auto places you into a random club when you're first starting off, which should help those with cold feet at least see what it has to offer. The live tournaments have evolved over the last few titles to provide a very awesome real-time experience that allows you to see where other players are hitting their ball in the course, and it also adds voice chat to those out on the course, which should encourage making new friends and finding people you enjoy golfing with. There's also a fleshed out voice chat system that allows you to talk to your club members regardless of what mode you're currently playing in. And here is where everything gets added up and evaluated, and I'm going to give a very definitive answer on if this year's Tiger is worth purchasing or not. But first, I have to discuss the economics of this game, because that plays a huge role in the matter. Every time you cut this game on, you're reminded about buying EA's Seasons Pass, as it's plastered all over the main screens, but more importantly, it's the $40 14 course pack that is available to buy off the main menu. If you're going to play this game online on a regular basis, this is pretty much going to be almost a flat-out requirement to buy. I say this because my first 2 days spent online consisted of me trying to guess which tournaments I could or couldn't access based off me not having this course pack. The DLC took up almost half of the online events that were available in my first 2 days of playing. So if you're going to join a country club and play with your friends, then you're most likely going to have to pick this up, which is going to bring the total cost of this game to over $100. Now, for those of you interested in just playing career and offline modes, picking up Tiger 13 may be the best way to go. Or if you already own 13, then you very well just may want to skip this year's title. From everything I read, the golfing experience is pretty much similar, but the big difference is you can unlock DLC courses by just playing the game and using the in-game coins to pick up the new courses on Tiger 13. Now, I actually gave a little bit of thought myself into trading in my Tiger 14 copy to pick up last year's just for that reason. But if you enjoy competing online, or if you want to make some new friends and you have the spare cash despite all the technical issues I ran across, then buying this new version may be worthwhile. I would have to imagine I'll be labeled for hating on this game because of the harsh nature of most of this review, but I actually spent a great deal of time just double checking that I wasn't the only one having so many technical issues with this game. I will post a link in the description to another review which was done by Gaming Trend, who pretty much named off every single issue that I came across in my own review. But that's pretty much all I have for this video. This is Zero at ReviewZoneHD. Thanks for stopping by.